Hey guys, so for today's class we will be talking about how do I balance chemical equations of a different type. We'll look at equations that are a little different from what we have seen so far and we'll practice them with the same steps. There'll just be slight difference, not much, just a mathematical difference which you will observe today's class. Alright, so for today's class I will show you the question that we will be balancing, and that is this. Fe plus O2 gives rise to Fe2O3. So that is nothing but iron and oxygen reacting to form iron oxide. So if you're not familiar with this is something we've actually seen every day. This is rusting of iron. Right? Iron and oxygen, if they're exposed for a long time, when they interact, they create rust. So rust is nothing but chemically we call it iron oxide. Alright. So this is the equation we'll balance today. Slight difference over here is you see the number 3, right? So it means we're going to be using slightly bigger numbers in balancing for today rather than just 2. All right. So let's get started with the balancing part. Again, I'll remind you, wherever you need to take notes, you can pause the video and you can take down the notes. Okay. Alright, so the first step that we always take is we will list the symbols of the elements, right? So all I see over here is Fe, which is iron, and oxygen, right? We only have 2 elements in this equation, and these are the elements we will be balancing for today's class. Now, for the next step, I will take a table and I am going to draw the LHS, RHS, or the reactant and product side. Over here, this is the table, left hand side, right hand side. Alright. Proceed to the next step, and that is we'll fill out the table with the number of each element. So now just keep in mind how we look at the numbers, right? The numbers that are there on the right side, the smaller numbers, what we call subscript, those belong to the elements. All right. And in case there's no number, it is 1. Okay. Now let's get started with this filling of this table. Now iron on the left side has no number, so it is 1. And on the right side, it says Fe2, right? So that 2 belongs to Fe, so I'll put it as 2. Same thing with oxygen on the left side, it is O2, it means it is 2. And on the right side, oxygen is 3, which is O3. Alright, so now I have filled out this table over here. For the next step, I'll start balancing one element at a time. I will start with the first element on our list, that is iron. Alright. So to balance iron, I'll again take a look at the table to see which side I need to balance. Okay. Now it's quite clear that only one side is lesser, that is the left hand side. So I need to balance the left hand side of my iron on the equation. Now to balance the left hand side, I'll just proceed to the next step. Since it is 2 on the right and 1 on the left, I'll simply multiply iron with 2, right? So the reason because 2 ones are 2. So I'm multiplying Fe with 2. So this is the modified equation. 2 into Fe plus O2 gives Fe2O3. Okay. Now I'll make the necessary changes for the table since we have changed the equation. Okay. So this is the modified equation. This is the table that we wrote originally. We have made a change, right? The iron on the left side has changed. So I'll change the LHS iron to 2, marked by the red number. Alright. Now let's proceed to the next step. We'll have to balance oxygen, which is the next element. Now this is the table that we got after modifying iron. So one thing you need to notice here, oxygen on one side is 2, on the other side it is 3. It's not very straightforward. How do I balance something like this, right? Because I don't think it can be balanced simply for a very simple reason. We'll look at both of these sides carefully, right? We have 2 on one side, 3 on the other side. Now I can't multiply 2 with anything to get 3, because 2 2s are 4 and 2 3s are 6, or 3 1s are 3, 3 2s are 6. So if you see, I can never multiply 2 with anything to get 3. Here what we have to do, we need to multiply both of the sides with something. Alright, we need to change both the sides to come to the same number. In mathematics, you must remember something called LCM, lowest common multiple. So all I need to find is the lowest common multiple for both 2 and 3 and make sure both the sides become that number. So to find the LCM for 2 and 3, it's quite simple. It is 6, right? Because 2 into 3 will give me 6 and 3 into 2 will give me 6. A very simple way to understand which number is common for both the tables, 2 table and 3 table. So 6 comes in both of the tables, right? So now I know what number I need to make both of these sides. Okay, so let's get to the next step and we'll start balancing in such a way that we get 6 on both of these sides. All right. Now, on the left hand side, we'll multiply it with 3 because it's 2 and 2 into 3 is 6. So I will get 3O2. All right. So 3 to the 6, oxygen has become 6 on the left side. Done. Now on the right hand side, I'll multiply it with 2 because oxygen is already 3 and 3 2s will also give me 6. Right. So I will write it as 2Fe2O3. All right. Now oxygen has been balanced. So let's make the appropriate changes. But we will keep in mind that if you remember, multiplying one compound means every element in that gets multiplied. So it's not just oxygen that has changed, also iron on the right hand side has changed because Fe2 is also part of that compound. So now that has become 2 2s are 4. So that also needs to be changed. Let us make changes to the table. First thing, iron on the right hand side has changed. It becomes 2 into 2, which is 4. Oxygen on the left side has become 3 2s are 6. And on the right side, oxygen has become 2 into 3, which is also 6. Now, the table has been changed. And if you really think, if you look at it, just see if it's balanced, right? There is still some discrepancy over here. It's not balanced because Fe is not balanced, right? It is 2 on one side, 4 on the other side. So I'll need to change Fe again on some side. How do I do this? I'll just take a look at the numbers again, as simple as that. Left is 2, right is 4. Clearly only one side, that is 2, is lesser. So we will balance 2. Okay, and how do I balance this 2? This is the way we always do. Alright, we will balance the left hand side by multiplying it with something. And it's quite simple. 2 into 2 gives me 4. So again I'll multiply left hand side with 2. Okay. Now, if you see, the left hand side has become 4Fe because 2 2s are 4, right? So I won't write as 2 into 2 there. I'll directly write it as 4. So now the left hand side has 4Fe plus 3O2 gives 2Fe2O3. Okay. We'll finish off the table now. This is the table that we had. Now to balance it off, the 2 on Fe has become 4 and everything else is the same. Right? Now if you see, the entire table has been balanced on every side. So that means my balanced equation is this. 4Fe plus 3O2 gives me 2Fe2O3. Right? Now, if you think, yes, I am sure I can balance these kind of equations, then go ahead. We have questions attached at the end of this video. Then you will just copy them down and you'll solve them. And if you feel like, no, I am not yet sure, rewatch this video. And these will be the equations that you will be solving. Okay, I'm going to freeze this here for 3 seconds. I encourage you to pause it, note down the questions and try. Make sure you don't make any mistakes while writing the alphabets. Okay. Now, once you're done solving these equations, go ahead with the form, right? The form that comes with your message, and fill out the form with the correct answers for each of these equations. And that will be, once you submit, you'll be done for the day. If you have any doubts, any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section. We will resolve them as soon as possible. So if there's any confusion, maybe you can just drop us a message, we'll reply you there, and then you can probably go ahead and finish off with your lesson.